Family, I know y'all notice the level of disrespect foundational Black Americans is getting from immigrant groups. And this ain't nothing new. In today's video, I'ma briefly touch on FBAs are the reason non-white immigrants can immigrate to the United States. These people piggyback off our struggle and get benefits without putting in no work. And there's too many immigrant groups that's playing us like that. And foundational Black Americans, we fought for everything in this country. It's the FBA lineage that fought for civil rights, but we benefit the least off it. It's the FBA lineage that fought to get citizenship inside of our own country that we built. If it wasn't for our fight, none of you non-white immigrants would have citizenship in the United States. You would be back in your homelands right now trying to figure it out. Y'all leech on us just to benefit off of our struggles. See, their game plan is, once we done all the fighting to make shit happen, here come the immigrant groups right behind us with their hand out, reaping the benefits off it more than we do. Without sacrificing nothing, they don't put no blood, sweat, and tears on what they actually benefiting off. And they've been running this playbook on us for a long time now. From 1790 all the way up to 1965, non-white immigrants was not allowed in the United States. People of African and Caribbean descent could not get citizenship here. In law, it was called the Naturalization Act. And basically what the Naturalization Act was, if you want citizenship in the United States, you have to be white. If you was black, you was shit out of luck. From 1790 all the way up to 1965, this was law. If you wasn't white, you couldn't immigrate to the United States. If it wasn't for FBAs, a lot of y'all be back in Africa eating Ngozi soup. After foundational Black Americans was freed from slavery, white America looked at us as competition in the job market. The white dominant society was trying to figure out what to do with these millions of Negroes we have here already. At that time, the American government plan was to never let Black immigrants in this country. See, it's important for you immigrants to understand it's foundational Black Americans that kicked in the door for y'all to be here. See, the FBA lineage went hard in the paint and forced the American government to pass a law in 1965 called the Immigration and Nationality Act. Now, this is the groundbreaking legislation that FBAs forced the American government to pass into law. What we did was shut down something the American government had called a quota system. The quota system was basically, we have to get as many white Europeans into this country as possible and keep all the Black immigrants out. It was all the FBA grassroots activists that got you non-white immigrants into the United States. It was the foundational Black Americans, influential leaders that paved the way for y'all to be here. So when you immigrants hear names like Fannie Lou Hamer, Malcolm X, Dr. King, and so many other grassroots activists I can name, y'all better show some goddamn respect. Cause if it wasn't for the FBA lineage, y'all would be back in y'all homelands eating bushmeat casserole. It was FBAs that fought the monumental battles against racism and segregation. We fight with tireless effort. It was our grandmothers and grandfathers that dismantled Jim Crow. The freedom and opportunities, non-white immigrants have in America, you could thank foundational Black Americans for that. The FBA lineage created the pivotal movements that paved the way for social reform. It's foundational Black Americans that changed the laws for non-white immigrants to be here. It's something about that FBA struggle. That shit ignite global solidarity. It's foundational Black American movements that sparked decolonization and racial justice worldwide. And for any immigrant to say foundational Black Americans is not the reason I'm here in the United States, you a lying tether. Foundational Black Americans applied pressure on the U.S. government. It was the work our ancestors put in that forced the American government to welcome individuals of African descent from all corners of the globe. But of course, after FBA's forced the American government hand to allow non-white people into the country, the white supremacists figured out a way to turn the non-white immigrants into a bag for them, but they also figured out a way to turn non-white immigrants into tethers and work against foundational Black Americans. If we would have knew that from the beginning, we wouldn't have went so hard to get them over here. It's a lesson learned. We ain't gonna cry over spilled milk. But thanks to foundational Black American efforts with the civil rights movement, the U.S. government had to stop practicing all those discriminatory policies. See, back in the day, our FBA brothers and sisters was on the vibe like, yo, y'all gotta let our brothers and sisters across the diaspora into the United States, man. Y'all letting all these Europeans in, getting y'all numbers up. We need reinforcements too. That's the vibe we was on. We had no idea that shit was gonna backfire. Our FBA brothers and sisters didn't have no idea a significant amount of these non-white immigrants was gonna turn into tethers and undermine the FBA lineage. That shit caught us off guard. We had no idea about all the tribalism and shit that was going on over there. But now we know the game that's being played. Our FBA brothers and sisters back in the day, they didn't know that they was lining us up for a trick bag with all that Pan-African shit. But our brothers and sisters was putting in that work back in the day. They had that unwavering fight for justice. Those brothers and sisters left no room for the continuation of all those blatantly racist immigration laws. The influence of our FBA brothers and sisters was absolutely revolutionary. And all we get is disrespect from these immigrants? It's a cold-blooded game out here. See, you immigrants love these labor rights in America. Y'all love the discrimination policies we have. But that shit didn't get handed to foundational Black Americans on a silver plate. When it seemed like it's impossible to win, the hard-won victories is fought by foundational Black Americans. We faced slavery, lynching, economic hardship, and systematic exclusion. Foundational Black American struggles paved the way for non-white immigrants to come to America and create a better life than what they was living back in their homelands. And now these immigrants get more benefits than foundational Black Americans. Now everything we fought for go to the immigrants, and they didn't have to put no work in to earn the benefits. We did. Our foundational Black American ancestors died for what these immigrants are benefiting off. And now foundational Black Americans are saying, hell no. FBA's fought for your rights to practice your culture and your religion over here in America. The FBA lineage is the solid foundation. If it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, justice, equality, and culture wouldn't even exist in this country. The ancestors, blood, sweat, and tears built this country from the ground up. At the same time, fighting tooth and nails for the freedoms you immigrants take for granted because it got handed to you on a silver platter. It's that FBA strength and resilience, that unyielding spirit. See, we paved the way for others to chase after that elusive American dream. See, black immigrants either forgot or never knew if it wasn't for FBAs, y'all wouldn't have had a shot stepping a foot in America. FBAs, we that relentless push that forces this nation to face its own hypocrisies. The triumphs we fight over white supremacy don't just shake up America, we send shockwaves across the whole globe. Foundational black Americans, man, we a divine force. We are God's chosen people. We are destined to turn injustice into equity and oppression into opportunity. Without foundational black Americans, this nation would be lost. The U.S. government don't have no moral compass. The American government has a history of closing its doors to non-white immigrants. Foundational black Americans fought for non-white immigrants to be here in this country. But y'all keep thinking white people let y'all into this country out the kindness of their heart. White people heard black immigrants like mayonnaise. They thought y'all was gonna come here to America and eat all the mayo up. They wasn't trying to let y'all in. We the ones that say it's enough mayo for everybody. Let our brothers and sisters from the diaspora come through. But seriously, everybody breaking their neck to get into America. You got people risking their goddamn life just to get their asses over here so they could reap the benefits of foundational black American sacrifices. The contributions we made, the work we put in is unmatched. Nobody could say they went through what we went through, survived it, and thrived in it. Nobody put in more work than foundational black Americans. We stand on business. You immigrants don't show no respect to the lasting legacy of foundational black Americans. We ain't just survivors, nigga. We the masterminds of freedom, the creator of nations, and the protector of justice. I appreciate it if you made it to the end. I know it take a lot of patience to listen to my ass. Like and subscribe, comment, show me love, show me hate, however you feel. Peace until the next one.